Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Ellensburg, Washington, USA, home of Central Washington University. Ryan's pissed this morning. We're trying to calm him down. He's getting everybody jacked up here. That's good. We got energy. Thank you for joining us, everybody. It's 11:46 a.m. Pacific time. I've started a few minutes early just to calm Ryan down more than anything else. And we are, I think, looking right. We are, 5 by 5. Terrific. Let me get myself on camera and we can talk a little bit, you and I, before we start. We've got the usual suspects showing up early. We've got a few students off camera. Hello, everybody. Hi. I'm going to close the blinds right now, I think. It's a nice hot sun. And we have another spectacular weather day. And it's Thursday, so we're going outdoors today. So, blinds are down, protecting the cameras and the computers. Can I say hi to a number of you before we let you just enjoy the vibe of the room and we just kind of go from here? Stevensville, Montana. Do you know Shane Arnott? Pam? It's an old friend of mine who lives, Shane and Mary live in Stevensville, Montana. Ana Rita, she's from Portugal, everybody. Olympia, Washington. Selah, Washington. Kennewick. Chelmsford, England. Do we have any relatives of these students that are watching? Are there like grandpas and grandmas that are watching us? Does anybody have a relative that are tuning in now? Have you ever thought to invite somebody?
I'm curious because you said Selah.
So. That's what got me going, Ryan. Ryan's eating now to calm himself down. When he gets stressed out, he eats. Tri-Cities, Washington. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Boone, North Carolina. Auburn, Washington. Langford, UK. Hello, Simon. Alan is from the south end of the UK. Is that a place or just a geographical description of where you are? Don's in Los Angeles. Tonasket, Washington. Gale reports it's 67 degrees Fahrenheit up there and sunny. It is spectacular weather. We've had such good luck on Thursday afternoons here. Not a wisp of wind again today. Spokane Valley, Washington. Vienna, Austria. Hello, Richard. Kalamazoo, Gary, and Marcia. I just emailed you guys. If you didn't get it yet, thank you so much, especially Marcia. I was sobbing in my office with my door closed. So I'm over that, but thank you. Your gift was just so meaningful. Buckley, Washington, Marion, Virginia, Funchal, Portugal. Hello, Ken. Waits, Burgundy, Washington. Salmon Creek, Washington. Dallas, Texas, y'all. Kirk from Philomath. Orlando, Florida. Byron, Wyoming. Hello, Cynthia. Canyon de Chelly, Sauber. Sauber's in a parking lot, everybody. Asheville, North Carolina, Boiling Springs, Pennsylvania, Elko, Nevada. Mike met his wife at CWU. Marysville, Washington. Dorset, UK is here. Ray from Half Moon Bay, California. Hello, Ray. Liz is from Petaluma, California. Very good, wonderful. Well, I want to chat with our folks here today, and it seems like the AV is working properly. We have about 10 minutes before we start our program today. Somebody doing that? A couple of just notes, I guess. If you have been watching these 351 sessions regularly, thank you. And I'm very happy with what we're doing in here. But as I watched Tuesday's replay, I noticed when I go to this camera shot, then I forget about it. So yeah, Tuesday was particularly bad. You couldn't even see the chalkboard because I just had this door setting showing. We were just looking at scene the whole time. And as fascinating as that is, I mean, you want to see the chalkboard. So I think I'm not going to show the scene cam. That's what this is going to be. This is no longer the door cam scene. This is the scene cam. This is scene right here. Are you coming out with us today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Been 10 years since I've been out there.
Been 10 years since you've been to Frenchman. Good. Okay, let's do that. So my point is, once we start, I think I'll just be looking straight ahead, which is this shot here. And I think I'm just going to stick with this the whole time. I don't think that's going to bother anybody. So I'm basically just telling myself that I want to stick with that. So let's go to the scene cam, and then I'll remember to get us squared away. So thank you for watching today. I don't think we'll have a student talking after class because we're all going to be mobilizing to head out to Frenchman Coulee today. But we'll see. Maybe somebody will want to talk to you guys for a bit. Okay, thanks. So Ryan, do you have family in the school district or something? Why does this touch such a nerve?
Well, my mom works for SELA, and like SELA has a lesser problem with it, but they are, we end up going to like, I don't know, it's weird because SELA like is growing really fast. And I just know a lot of people who are teachers, and like a lot of my friends from high school go to Central to be teachers, and I don't know, it's upsetting.
It is.
Because teachers are our future, and they're raising the future of the country, and then they're the ones who get laid off while the big wigs.
It's a nationwide problem. We've got the same problem at this school.
Yeah, I know. It is a nationwide problem. There's a few schools where I don't remember which ones now, but I've been hearing that they are laying off like administrative faculty, and they're fine right now. They're kind of coasting, but
I'd love to see that here or anywhere.
yeah, here's the problem.
Yep, it's the Jordan Carries of the world that get cut. Austin? I'm coming to you today a little bit for some words, okay?
I know, I heard.
Good. Coming to you today for a little bit for some words, okay? A little participation today.
Okay.
Don't be freaked out, okay? Nice and fluid, nice and open. Just have a couple little things we want going. Good. Joe? I'm doing well, you? Got a full tank of gas? You coming though?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
You got the Google pin, right?
Yeah, I was just wondering, would it be best to take 90 or take managed highway or get on the 90?
Good question. I don't know what the backup's like these days. I kind of forgot about that, but probably not. I'm probably going to go 90.
Oh, that's helpful. So that's why it's not in the ground, so it's kind of hard to know exactly what formation it's from. Hello.
Good.
Something wrong other than the usual? the usual university exploding problems? Yes.
No, nothing beyond the usual.
Yeah,
Armageddon, you know.
all that.
Ooh, I haven't told you about the research I'm doing. How about it?
No.
So I'm going into paleontology.
Yeah.
So I'm working with Megan Wetherell.
Good.
There's a giant ground sloth femur washed up on shore out in Roach Lake. Still bone.
Recently?
Yeah, pretty recent. I think she just a few
Like
months ago.
this winter? Okay.
Yeah, it was over winter. So people contacted Patrick Lubinsky, and then he contacted Megan, and we have it, and took some sediment off of it, so we can try to compare it to that of Hanford and Ringgold, see if there's possibilities of telling the difference.
Wow.
And also trying to identify two species.
There we go.
100-year-old papers that describe all these different species of ground
Sweet,
sloths.
man. This class might actually be useful for something. Because we're going to get up to your neck of the woods, time-wise.
Oh, that's why I'm like just so in tune.
Good.
I love sediments.
Good, baby. Good, Austin. I love it. Oh, that makes me happy. I didn't know you were doing that.
Oh yeah.
Indigo, on the other hand.
What?
Nick,
Look at this cool tie I got.
pardon me?
Look at this cool tie I got.
You just found out in the street?
No, the repair fair happening on the other side of the circ. I'm working the farm stall, and I saw free clothes, and I was like, oh, my dad would love this. So
Would you know how to tie it if you wanted to put it on?
I wore a uniform for 7 years. Yeah.
Windsor not? Okay. You wore a uniform at school
Yeah.
in Cape Town.
So I just every day.
Just like riding a bike.
Oh yeah. Once you learn how, you never forget. You know,
Nice.
Wearing it like a Chippendale. Oh, I don't think that's.
Indigo, on the other hand, you're not doing any research yet, but you will be.
I went and I talked to Chris just before I came here about stuff he's doing. He's got a couple of projects that are vaguely interesting.
Oh, okay. We got good energy today. I wasn't sure we were, but we do. We have wonderful energy. Can I ask one more time, are we 5 by 5 before we start? This is a good group. Nick did cut his hair. See, you guys know each other, know these guys so well. You know, like, oh, somebody showered. Thank you. Angry.
You ready?
Angry, nervous.
You get nervous?
What is this? We need to call it something. This the swan, the angry swan. I'm gonna throw out my shoulder. Sabrina, hi. I'm doing well. You did a nice job. I watched the replay. Good job. Yeah.
I know. I have.
Yeah, I was hiking I'm not sure but there's a pretty long hike.
Yeah.
I ran down the mountain at 5 o'clock. I was freaked out. I was around the road, literally.
Matthew's here, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Wonderful energy in the room. Exciting to be here together with you. Glorious weather we have for our trip to Frenchman Coulee, but we have work to do before we go outside. And we are going to see much of what we talk about today in the flesh. I assume you have your carpool things ready to go. 2:15 is our time. 2:15 is our meeting time at the Google Pin that you all have. That small parking lot, there's one little porta potty with graffiti on it. Nice touch. We will be there 2:15, and we will walk together for a while. I will talk in a monotone tone for the first half an hour, and then we will go our separate ways. And I'll give you options when we're out there. But it can include, and many of us will include, going out to an abandoned mine where there is stuff to collect. I'll tell you more about it when we get out there. Okay, great. So I need to start with a bold open to really settle the room, to get Zane off of his telephone, and then to really lock us in the best we can. Either that or you're just kind of checking out your body every time you come in here. But either way, you're looking down, Zane. So we need to focus here. I'm tired of the Vantage. In fact, I'm pissed off by the Vantage because I keep getting different thoughts, including from James, including from Ryan, including from some of the viewers. Sky Cooley, a geologist we will talk more and more about, and Sky will be with us next Thursday in the flesh. I'll tell you about Sky in a bit. It's encouraging to have healthy discussion, but I want something that I can feel good about. I want something that I can go, damn it, I got a layer and I know what this place used to look like. And that's what I want today. And a diatomite layer, not diatomite, but diatomite, is a layer that I don't think is going to be controversial. And we're going to see some diatomite today. And the diatomite is going to show up on our, what did I call it? Formal strat column. Formal in quotation words. Nothing's formal in this class. But what I really want to do today, the main act today, is I want to work with many of you in the room, and I want to almost like review what we've done so far and get everything onto this one sketch. And I know some of you are already kind of one ear listening and one part of your brain is copying this thing down. I understand. Thank you. You're engaged. But this thing's going to be on the whole time, the whole class period, so I hope we can have a discussion as well. But my bold statement, let me finish my bold statement. If we get to a diatomaceous earth bed, so that's the same thing, diatomaceous earth, diatomite, those are interchangeable terms. What is it? And how is it going to make me feel good as far as a nice, simple story? So I don't know if anybody's been introduced to this concept. I know very little, but let's try anyway. Let's look at the root of the word diatomite. Diatom. So we've got a diatom root word in something called diatomaceous earth or diatomite. Has anybody heard about diatoms before? Go ahead, Indigo.
They're little tiny animals that have shells made of silica.
Let me stop you there. Indigo, we're going to come back to you. Indigo says they're little tiny animals, did you say?
Sure.
Maybe they're animals that make a shell. So you can Google all you want. I have Google. I don't know if do you understand? I pay $100 a month for Google. I don't know if you have that, but I have this search engine called Google. I don't know if should I find another dealer? Like, do you pay $100 for Google? Go to Spectrum, and what do they charge for Google? 75? Okay, well, I have Google and I love it. I can find all these geologists, and I type in diatoms to Google, $100 a month, and they say the diatoms are not animals, and they're not plants. They're like algae. I thought algae was biology. Is algae not biology? What's algae? So what do we know? Let's not get sidetracked. If you have a layer of diatoms that are preserved in a rock layer, diatomite layer, we got a lake. We got a lake. I don't care if it's an animal. I don't care if it's a plant. They are single-celled, microscopic, living beings that do have the ability to make a little skeleton or a little shell or whatever the frick. I'm married to a biologist. I'm just bored with that stuff. Not her, but that concept, that biology stuff, if it is biology, I'm just not into it. But we have millions and billions of little diatoms, whatever the hell they are, living and dying, and their remains falling to the bottom of this freshwater lake, and that gives us a diatomaceous earth layer. And that's the topic of our meeting today. I don't know how we would argue against it being a lake. And you're like, what are you hung up on? Didn't we decide that Vantage was a lake? I think I'm backing off of that again, believe it or not. And you're like, no, I got it in my notes from, you told me there's a lake at Vantage. What are you doing? Well, I want to do two kind of open-ended discussions if this loose plan works. I want to go back to our lavas damming rivers and back to the Vantage time and the ginkgo time. And I also want to talk about the Lamuma beds and why there's beds plural and what's up with that. So that's my loose plan for today. Two kind of open discussion topics that might be as electric as last Thursday, but also getting everybody involved in just plugging into what's familiar here and what's not familiar here. That was my bold open. I think it worked. And let's take it and run. Faith. One of the videos that's short had spatter coming out of the ground in eastern Washington. Did you catch, did I say in that video what flow it was? I'm not sure I did. I didn't say, but I was out in eastern Washington, and why was that, what is spatter, and why was that so important in that video?
Well, when a fissure volcano opens up,
Yes.
it drops stuff into the air and falls
Good.
back down, and that's the spatter.
Yes.
We found evidence of the fissure where the lavas, the CRVs or the Rosa, erupted from 20 miles out of Ritzville.
Beautifully done.
Spatter from it.
Excellent job. So Faith is reminding us that 5-minute video on PBS where I was like, here we have these giant basaltic lava flows in eastern Washington, and was it Mount Rainier that erupted? And we all know that's dumb. And then we said, where's the volcano? And then I said, well, if you're close to this town called Ritzville in eastern Washington, there's actually a place where the Rosa lava flow came out of the ground and started to flow away from that source. Raquel, that's new for us. What did we use last time in previous lectures to know that we were at the source of a flood basalt? It wasn't the spatter. What was the other thing? Like just on Tuesday, we were at the Snake River Canyon. We were trying to find where the lava came out of the ground. What did that place look like?
Are you talking about the Ashen events?
I'm not. Somebody else? Go ahead, Gavin.
We were looking for the dikes, right?
The dikes, the feeder dikes. So far in this class, we've only had one way to know where these basaltic lava flows are coming out of the ground. We know they're coming out of cracks, but the cracks are literally filled with lava that are coming up to the surface, feeder dikes. And those dikes in that Oregon video, but that wasn't the Rosa, that was the ginkgo. So my point here, and no problem, Raquel, I'll come back to you in a bit, is that two of these flows are familiar to us. One from the past week and a half, and one I'm introducing formally today. So Gavin, what was that flow with the feeder dikes in the Oregon video? Name of the lava flow? Oh shit, man.
I don't know if I remember the name of the lava flow.
The ginkgo flow. And Raquel, which of these layers is the ginkgo flow? This would be like a hot, warm, or colder thing. Or do you recognize anything here?
Yes, the logs.
The logs. So this must be the ginkgo, and it is. Good job. I'm going to name every layer here. I'm going to, in rapid fire, try to involve many, and we'll just try to kind of set in our minds all the big and small scale things that we know so far in this class. I just feel like I like being loose, but I've been way too loose now, and I want to just get one diagram where we can just feel like if you have this jotted down and you understand everything on it, if you bring it out to the field this afternoon, we're going to see most of this picture in one place at Frenchman Cooley today. I'm introducing the Rosa, which Faith just mentioned. The Rosa is up here. And the Rosa lava flow is the star of the show today. The Rosa lava flow. So if you're losing it already, the two video clips for this week, one of them had a feeder dike as the source, and Raquel just told us that's the ginkgo flow. The one that had the spatter, where stuff is coming out of the ground and then falling onto the ground near the vent, that's a different flow. That's a younger flow called the Rosa. Let's go back to the ginkgo. What else looks familiar here? Raquel noticed the logs. We know those. What are the circles? Pillows. What are the vertical lines? Columns, or the cracks between the columns. What are these little things? They're the phenocrysts. What mineral? Plagioclase feldspar. They look kind of discolored, like copper or orange. And a few of you saw them in the base of the ginkgo. Okay? You're like, don't do this all again. We already know all this. I agree. I'm sick of it too. We're done with the ginkgo, I think. Below the ginkgo is the vantage. It's a sediment. I'm pissed off at the vantage. Why am I pissed off? Raquel.
Just a question before we go with
Good.
ginkgo.
Good.
Over on the Oregon coast,
Yeah.
are there any logs, or is it just
No.
unique to the petrified river?
That's going to get in our discussion. Raquel's saying, so if there's petrified logs in the pillows at the base of the ginkgo at Vantage, are there petrified logs and pillows at the Oregon coast? No. Are there petrified logs and pillows near Goldendale? That's what I was mentioning a couple days ago. No. It's the ginkgo. So that's why I'm starting to get unhappy with us having this huge regional lake that the ginkgo is flowing into, because I don't know, but I think the logs and the pillows are just kind of in the Vantage area. Okay, so let me write this guy's name down. I'm going to erase it quickly. Sky Cooley is one of the greatest names ever. This is a guy's name. And Sky Cooley is a buddy of mine. He's a geologist, but he's also an artist. And he combines both of those worlds regularly. And he's a very creative, original thinker, and yet he's very meticulous with his notes, and he specializes in this kind of time window stuff. So I've already learned a lot from Sky Cooley, and if you get very curious about him, I've done a number of videos with him out in the field. And he's going to be with us next Thursday. He's excited about our visit to this Saddle Mountains quarry, and he hasn't had a chance to see that quarry, so he's going to be out there with us, driving from Montana to be with us. He may be with us now. He's been watching these classroom sessions. So anytime Sky Cooley speaks or leaves a comment on some of our classroom sessions, I listen. I slow down and I read those things carefully. So I got Sky Cooley in my head now. And Sky Cooley says, just what you brought up, Raquel. If those pillows aren't everywhere at the base of the ginkgo, why does it have to be a lake? And some of you are going to be very happy because you were literally saying this in class last time. Why, even more than last time, like last week as well. Sky's thought, which had a very specific visual for me, we'll see if you like it, is that what if there's a major river valley right at Vantage when we're having the ginkgo flow come into the area? I'm just going to try it verbally because I can't draw it. I'm not an artist. It's not a lake, it's a big river. And we have the ginkgo flow coming in, it's interacting with the river water, it's making some pillows. But Sky says, and maybe you were saying this too and I just blew you off. So the ginkgo comes into the river valley Now the river valley's higher. Now the water's higher. Now we're going to bring in more lava. We're going to make more pillows. We're just going to keep like displacing the river and displacing the water higher and higher. And we can get 100 feet of pillows, maybe, just because we keep displacing that water. I don't know how I feel about it, but at least it made some kind of sense to me to not have a broad regional lake, because I just don't think we can follow these pillows and these logs 50 miles in all directions. Maybe we can, but I don't think we can. I guess it would take going to each of Andrew Sadowski's maps and cross sections and trying to follow that. Andrew, when you watch this, how far away from Vantage do you find Vantage pillows and logs? While we're at it, James and Ryan were hot on some sort of, what would you call it? You're not buying it, or like something doesn't sit right with you. Can you try it again, James? What were you guys like thinking that didn't work for you from last time?
Well, I know one of the things that Ryan was confused about was like, why couldn't like the Grand Ron part of the dam?
Let me stop you. So last time I was hot on the idea of a lava flowing, damming rivers, making a lake. And I was trying to kind of combine a lava flow with a sediment and saying without the lava we wouldn't have the sediment, or vice versa. And I was saying that it was the ginkgo above the Vantage that was doing the blocking. So James and Ryan, and maybe more of you, are wondering why couldn't it be the lower lava flow that was screwing up the rivers, if you really want a lava dam, to make the lake. We're going to look at the same kind of relationship up here, which is our main topic today. And then we'll go. Jess?
Why does it have to be a huge regional lake? Why can't it be smaller bodies of water?
Jess says, why does it have to be a huge regional lake? Why can't it be a smaller lake? Like, so you kind of want some middle ground between a river making the pillows and a huge regional lake. Sure, yeah, it can be a local lake, but we're back to who's damming the river, why is the lake forming? And we're going to be back to that question again. And you're like, are we doing anything yet? Yeah, we've already done a fair amount, but I want to go back to this, and I'm just letting you know I'm heading to this, and we're just going to revisit this quote-unquote debate. Somebody else, Jack, what's this about? Why do I have this line and these arrows like that, and then here they are up here as well? What am I talking about? Good. Yeah. Grand Ron.
And there's kind of two versions of the Grand Ron, right?
Two versions of the Grand Ron?
One is it was when everything kind of got flipped, right?
Oh, the magnetic stuff. Yeah. If you have the cake handout, we actually have 4 flips. The R1, the N1, the R2, I get them always screwed up. You're right, there's magnetic flips. And this is where most of the drama with the lavas and where most of the volume of the lavas are coming out.
Like 70%.
You got it. We're saving that. Like we're generally marching younger today, and next week we're going up here just because of the scheduling of our field trips. But when we finally go out with Andrew Sadowski on May 22nd, he's going to bring us way back down to the Grand Ron. He's kind of the expert locally on the Grand Ron flows. So the Coleman, which I introduced to you last time, you're like, oh man, I don't have anything on the Coleman. You're right, you have nothing on the Coleman. I got nothing in the Coleman in my head at all. But I know that he loves that Coleman interbed, and that's coming in mid to late May. So another thing we're doing here is just kind of showing you what's happening in the next few weeks in this class. Zane.
So, what lava flow is the Yakima River currently heading through down south of Ellensburg?
Zane, interesting question. Zane says, we got the Yakima River Canyon south of town. The river has cut down to which lava layer?
Or even which one at the top, because I was wondering if it would have been possible that the Yakima was outflowing into the Columbia where Vantage is now, and the logs and lake
bed, I guess you could say,
Yep.
isn't actually like a lake bed.
Right.
It's kind of just a river delta from the Yakima up again to the Columbia.
I love what you're doing. I don't want to go there. That is a whole nother topic, but you're visualizing a lot of interesting things. And in this class, for simplicity, I'm just ignoring the major folds, the anticlines and synclines that have been happening during these eruptions and since these eruptions. That's just too much for my head and maybe yours as well. So that folding plays into that as well. We're forming lakes just because we've got a ridge growing and we can't get the river to go. Okay, too much for us to handle. Other people, so I think I'm done down here, except some dates. Let's put some dates on and some colored chalk that you cannot read. That's a nice teaching choice. Top of the Vantage, give me a number. Anybody, from Jennifer or Andrew. There's two numbers you can give me. 16 point, thank you, I'm gonna actually go 16 point, I'm gonna go 3 significant figures. 16.066, that's from the pumice class. That's from those beautiful, beautiful pumice clasts. Julie sent me some gorgeous photos of those pumice clasts, which with mineral inside again. Hornblends, which means Cascade yes or Cascade no? Yes. Cascade yes. I'm using red. That's what we used late last time. Red for Cascade yes, blue for Cascade no. I think above that, Andrew found it tough. Go for it. 15.95 ±0.08. Beautifully done. 15.950. Is that what you said? It's basically what I have. Faye? Yeah. Good. So I don't normally obsess about 3 significant figures past the decimal, but these dates are so precise, I think it's worth it. So, okay, that's where we are there. Just for fun, this is the Sentinel Bluffs. Somebody else now, let's see, I'm going to call on somebody again if you don't mind. Actually, Scene, I saw you had Jennifer's paper out. Scene, in the Jennifer Kasbaum 2023 paper, or interview, I guess, she was actually getting some great dates, not just from the zircon in the interbeds. She was getting dates from something else. Did you catch what else she was sampling that wasn't zircon in an interbed? It's fine. Somebody else? I'm not down to the mineral level. I'm just kind of like, instead of just going to the Vantage and looking for pumice class, she's going to have a date for us from the Sentinel Bluffs lava itself. Hand down. Yeah.
Was it from the ground mass, the argon-argon?
Yeah. What is ground mass?
It's the part of the salt that doesn't have any visible crystals.
Faith. Nice. So the basalt. What the fuck, man? I thought we couldn't get ages from the basalt lava. Isn't that what we've been saying the whole class? Like we care about the Ellensburg formation because we can't get the ages, precise ages from the lava themselves. Until I read Jennifer's 2023 paper, I thought that was real. But apparently, I don't know if she devised a new technique or I was just sleeping on this, but Faith is right on the money. If you didn't hear it, and if you didn't catch it in Jennifer's 2023 paper, she's got more than a dozen new dates. Some of them are coming from the zircon from the interbeds, but she's also got dates from the ground mass of the basalt lava itself. So you sample the basalt, you stay away from the phenocrysts, you go to the super tiny glassy shit in between, and I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what her process is in that lab back at Princeton, but she's getting dates. It's not uranium lead, it's argon. I have no idea what I'm talking about right now. Radioactive decay, that sounds familiar. You could say, what's that?
Call Hannah, she'll tell you about it.
I'm not calling Hannah. Hannah. Everything's about Hannah. Okay, I'm ready to kind of push back on this Hannah love, all right? It's too much. No, I'm not. You're right. I love Hannah Shamlow with all my heart. So Jennifer, from her new paper, gives us a 16.135. That's new for all of us. You can double check me at some point in that paper, but I'm pretty sure that's a right number. That's a correct number. Again, I'm just trying to kind of synthesize, make sure we feel like we're all looking at the same level of detail, because you know I sent you an email this morning, or maybe you don't, and I don't need a reply, but it's pretty much the rest of our class. And some details on the midterm and the final, and when we're carpooling, and when we've got the vans and everything else. So you can look at that and kind of see. I don't want to surprise you for this midterm, so this is part of the reason we're doing this as a group. Nick?
Yeah.
Weren't you like flagging me down?
No, I was
You were high-fiving Mick and tickling him and saying,
much, yeah. Just telling him on a
locker room behavior. Well, good. It's high time for that. It took the weird time to finally tell him that, but you did. Okay, good. Name of the flow. I've got footages here. I don't think they're that important, but I've got thickness of each flow. 50-foot thick layer. What do we got on top of the ginkgo? Thank you. I know why you're hesitating, because I changed this next one. I'm getting rid of Kelly Hollow, even though I love that name, and we're going to Sentinel Gap, which is totally stupid. You're at the correct answer. Why is it stupid?
Because it's basically the same as
It's the frickin' same. It's like we're going to be out there today. I'm like, well, down below your feet is a Sentinel Gap. You're like, Sentinel Bluffs? No. Sentinel Gap? No. What? Which one is it? I don't know. Who the frick picks these names? We're into the ticky-tack part of today, but I'm coming back. Skylar, I'm coming to you as well. Anybody, I guess, this is a hard question. What kind of time duration was Jennifer talking about in either of those papers? She gave us some sort of number for the age hiatus, or like a pause. It seemed like a significant pause compared to other parts in the cake. And I guess it's an extra long pause, but I'm not really sure of that. But that's the way she kind of presented it. Julie?
60 to 120,000.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So I don't know how important that is either, but I'm just going to write it down for completion. Let's just go between. Nice round number. Maybe 100,000 years of time for our Vantage drama. Okay, spitball. I'm going to spitball right now. So if we got 100,000 years worth of time, I don't want to get in the lava dam thing again. I don't think I do. I don't think I do. We'll revisit it up here, but for right now, I don't think I want to do it. But during this 100,000 years worth of time, what do you visualize for the Vantage hiatus, 100,000 years of time, at Vantage? Oh, I guess we're opening it up to the floor. Nick says, could you rephrase, please? What if we could visit Vantage, Washington during this 100,000 years of quiet, after the Sentinel Bluffs flow and before the ginkgo flow, what am I looking at? Indigo says river. And your evidence for that? Nobody knows for sure, but it's just a hunch?
It just feels like all of our logs and the pillow basalts, if we're trying to go away from the regional lake story, if you need water for the pillow basalts, which you do, then I feel like a big river makes more sense, and the Columbia's right there.
So you're just like my wife. You love Sky Cooley. That's what I heard. Just kidding. So yes, we need water because of the pillows. We all agree with that. And there's 100 feet of pillows. So we need a bunch of water. But I think if we're more creative, we imagine a river. Nick wants something different than a river?
No.
Jesus Christ. No, get your hands down. Put your hands in your pockets. Gavin.
If I had think of it as probably a time of change. It's probably not consistent throughout that 100,000 years.
Yeah, Gavin's rejecting the question. Like, why do I have to pick one scene for 100,000 years? Why can't it keep changing? What do we have in this Vantage? I thought I was sick of the Vantage. I'm obsessed with it. Jack. We found pumice in class that were oblong or elongate or rounded, that were red. They were coming from the Cascades.
So there was some volcanic activity, we can assume, and then I don't know how long that lasted, but
Right.
that was eventually ended because there was stuff deposited on top of that.
Yes.
There was the 14 couplets.
The couplets.
The conglomerate.
Jack, the couplets, all that sand, coarse fine, going into what? I thought it was supposed to go into a lake, but maybe it doesn't, James.
So I envision right after the Sentinel Bluffs flowed.
Yeah.
The Vantage, Andrew said there was like clay or shale.
There's clay
I
with,
envision a lake then eventually transitioning into a river.
but there's mica in it. How does the Muscovite mica get into your lake?
From the north.
From the north. But it's just a lake, James. Ryan.
Kind of, but
Yeah.
I see the mica.
Yeah.
And the
Base of the
siltstone.
Vantage. Yeah.
It could be a lake, or it could be like a distal floodplain.
Right.
Meandering river.
Right. Okay. So we're right back into it. It's like we fell right back into this like weird little rut that we keep having. That my bold open was I don't want to talk about it. Now, like I can't quit. I can't quit the Vantage. I can't quit you. I'm setting us up for the topic today. And here we go. This is going to work. This is the Rosa lava flow. It's too small for you to read, so let me narrate my symbols. It's got beautiful columns. You'll see them in an hour. They're crinkle-cut French fries. Those are the columns, the Rosa columns, in the bottom half of the columns. They're 50 feet high, and they pinch and swell. Each individual, it's like somebody in the Navy, like, shut up. Okay, she said. Each lava column in the Rosa has a freakish individual column pinching and swelling, and we're going to get to a viewpoint where we can see, in addition to that, there's this weird diagonal pattern that's not an optical illusion, like it just sweeps right across the collection of all those crinkle-cut French fries. It's frickin' weird, and we'll have the same discussion, if you're with me, that every other group of students that I've had out there will have. And it's fascinating. But those crinkle-cut French fries that started at the spatter, Faith, or Raquel, or either one, both of you were talking, Rosa. There are some pillows at the base, but we're not going to see them at Frenchman. There are phenocrysts that are nice and big and beautiful, plagioclase, feldspar, in the Rosa. So the ginkgo and the Rosa are both famous for their big glomercrysts, sometimes they're called. That's a little dramatic, but whatever. They're these, I don't know, what are they, dime-sized? Do you know what dimes look like? We don't use, you young people, you just use cards. You've never seen cash before? Back in the day, I'd have coins in my pocket, and like 1/4 would pay for 5 meals. Almost. I just went to Campus Utotem, and I had a deluxe burger basket. And I know the owners, and the dad used to run it, and now it's Rick's kid. I told Rick's kid, I used to bring a $5 bill in here, and that would pay for a deluxe burger basket. He's like, well, welcome to 2025. It's $14.75, motherfucker. And I don't blame him. It's a great business and everything else. But okay, we're on a tangent. These are dime-sized plagioclase, feldspar, phenocrysts. Not just in the ginkgo, in the Rosa. You want to go, why? Why doesn't every lava flow have these? I have no idea. Next question. We're not to the interesting part yet, though. I'm going to skip over it and go up here. I'm going to build the suspense. There's a lava flow up on top that's got 200 feet of thickness, beautiful columns, super fat, super wide columns from base to top. You know the name if you went out on our first field trip. Yes, James. The Priest Rapids. I don't know if you really looked carefully at those gorgeous fat columns in the Priest, because we were all out at Drumheller looking at the Elephant Mountain, and that was the one with the beautiful Tootsie Roll columns those are up here. But something from the Drumheller trip is finally making it on our chalkboard, and it's the Priest. So the Priest were the oldest lavas we could see, and they're the youngest lavas we're talking about here. And you're like, are you ever going to get to this? So inside of the diatomaceous earth, there are beautiful microscopic diatoms. They're not multicolored like these nerd clusters. Oh shit, man, now I gotta eat it. What is the name of this bed? The Lamuma Creek sediment is the diatomaceous earth. I'm just going to do this temporarily. The Lamuma sediment layer has diatomite, which again are single-celled microscopic diatoms that lived and died in freshwater lake water, fresh lake water. And whatever the hell they were, they died, and their little skeleton fell to the bottom. As you drive out to our field site today, you're going to exit on Silica Road. Literally the name of the road. And that's named after the diatomaceous earth. It's just a bunch of silica that's literally mined for toothpaste and filters and pool cleaners and all sorts of stuff. There's been an active diatomite mine over there, and I'm chickened to go over there and try to get in, because I think most of it's been reclaimed. But we're going to go to a really abandoned spot that I don't think is a problem for anybody. I'm still building, believe it or not. It feels like we're almost done, but I've been trying to get us to this open discussion that I think will be fun. We'll see if it works. Before I get there, the Lamuma sediment horizon is more than diatomite. There's a bunch of sand. We're not going to see much sand today, but there is some sand if you go regionally, if you go laterally in the Lamuma. A lot of quartz sand, I think. There's some little layers of pebbles that are cute, little jelly bean stringers. And there's a bunch of crossbeds. So when we do have a bunch of sand in the Muma bed, it's not horizontal layers of sand, it's angled layers of sand.
Is this angled with the Sentinel Gap?
Angled with the Sentinel Gap?
Yeah. Like you would line.
Thank you, Jack. No, these are, if I can, let me exaggerate. There's these beautiful, graceful, in places, cross beds in the sand that are like big Nike swooshes that are within the sediment. They don't intersect the Sentinel Gap below or the Rosa above. I'm just curious if anybody's totally razor sharp right now. Did you take 101 here? Oh, you took 101 here. Did you take it in a quarter when you went on all 4 field trips?
Yes.
Do you remember one of the 101 lab field trips? looking at cross-bedded sand, a string of beautiful jelly beans, and a bunch of white stuff with a lava flow above? Please say yes.
I do.
Where were you? Menashtash Ridge. The viewpoint of Menashtash Ridge with a bunch of truckers, a bunch of garbage, a bunch of bottles full of piss thrown on the side. Get through all that, and there is a beautiful sandstone with basalt pillows above and basalt below. Does that come back to you now? That's the Muma. That's the Muma. You were right here. And those pillows, I mean, you can drive up there tomorrow morning if you want. Those pillows are at the base of the Rosa. The same flow we're going to go out and see at Frenchman. It's fun that we have a local example of this. Okay, I promise. Here's what I hope is the fun part. What do you think this sediment's called above the Rosa? According to your yellow sheet, it's Quincy. But Andrew Sadowski down the hall says, no, it's not Quincy anymore. Get rid of it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. I want to be cool. I want to be hip. So what do you guys call it? He says, no. Worse. He says, this stuff here is Muma. And I'm like, whatever you say, bro. You want me to call it the Muma? That's fine. This is by email, so he didn't have to have me lording over him, glaring at him. So, Lamuma beds plural, what's going on? This is truly, I'm not going to put cross beds up here as well. In fact, I want to get rid of the cross beds here, Jack. Don't cry. I want to give, especially at where we're going today, this is clean, pure, diatomaceous earth. Can I give you some descriptors in case we don't see it perfectly? This stuff is wild. When there was an active mine nearby, this diatomaceous earth is 20 feet thick and it looks like snow. It looks like styrofoam. It's soft. You can break it with your fingers. It's all ashy, just like the chalk on my fingers. You're like, is this stuff real? We used to bring school group, young kids over there and stuff, and they're having a blast. And then in all this white styrofoam, which is the diatomaceous earth, there's all this glass. I was talking about it a little bit last time. Little weird patterns and shapes of pistachio green glass in the styrofoam. Kind of a mahogany red in the styrofoam. Sometimes whole layers of this reddish and greenish glass inside of the styrofoam. And what I'm trying to get to right now in the last 7 minutes is, why are they calling both of this the same name? And how do you explain what I'm trying to describe verbally right now? And why was I initially pissed off and then pretty quickly after thinking about it, this makes me so happy to call this and this the same name? You want to try it now? Your hand was up. Is that hand real?
Yeah.
That's an actual hand up?
Yeah.
That signifies you would like to speak?
I was stretching and then I was like, oh.
Okay, go.
Do they both?
Jesus Christ.
It's been a long day.
Nick, come on. Come on. Did you catch my question? What is the story here?
Could it be if both have diatoms, so it could be so the first layer of Lamuma came by. Is it Lamuma or just Muma?
Either one. This stuff's identical. For our discussion, this stuff's identical. Let's make it as simple as possible. It's both pure diatomaceous earth, white virgin snow, and then here's this Rosa flow in between these two beds. This is a radical answer that's real. It's not just my idea. I don't even know how to get us in that direction in case somebody feels like they have I guess I do have a couple of hints if we really strike out here. But Jess, you want to try?
Well, like, did the water have to go anywhere? Did the flow just come through and water stayed and then we've got Lima Creek on?
Okay, you like Sky's idea, weirdly, like we're displacing the water higher or getting it out of there to then make a higher something? Not really?
Well, I mean, you just add lava.
Add lava to a lake. So let's get more, and then I'll try to steer us a little bit. Gavin.
If we want to go looking back at our vantage view.
Yeah, I do, now.
We have the quote-unquote lava dams.
Yeah.
We're having the same thing happen with the Rosa, and then it happens again with the Priest Rapids.
Gavin wants this Rosa to dam to make this, and this Priest Rapids dam to make this.
Yeah.
I like it, but then they're calling it the same name. That's weird. I'm not saying no. I think we can do this. Zane.
Is the bottom of the Rosa bed like a uniform flat thing, or does it kind of like move up and down? Because you're talking about.
It kind of moves up and down.
Yeah, because you're talking about earth, like diatomaceous earth, which sounds pretty porous.
Yeah.
So there could have been like the Rosa going through it in some way.
And what are you getting at?
Like in some way, the Rosa managed to work its way like into the diatomaceous.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Were you actually on your phone at the beginning?
I was.
Okay, all right. So we're past that. I love you right now, Zane. Zane is really on it. Maybe out of thin air, I don't know. Here's the concept. I'll give it to you verbally. If you have a bunch of lake bed material, and then you bring a big, vigorous lava flow in, who says that lava has to just gracefully flow over the top of this snow and come to rest? Is it possible, what Zane just said, that the Rosa said, okay, here's a bunch of snow. You know what I mean by snow, right? It's the diatomaceous earth, it's the diatomite, it's soft. The Rosa said, screw this, I'm going to head right for this and go right into the middle of this snowbank. And I'm going to squirt right through the middle. That's one concept. Bunch of hands up, I love it. Another concept is you have places where the Rosa has literally come into this pile of Muma and has dug to the bottom of it and lifted the Muma to its top. It's something we call rafted sediments or inflated sediments. Are you following me? It's like a bulldozer coming in and screwing up the order. I'm going to finish my thought and then we'll come to those hands. I'm going to try to say it again. This is the moment we've been trying to build to, and we're there with 2 minutes to spare. It's called Lamuma on top and at bottom because basically all the styrofoam was there before the Rosa came in. And the fact that we have some of this sediment on top of the Rosa is real, but its age is backwards. Like this is, that's what always pissed me off when I was out there trying to teach classes. They're like, is that snow? And I'm like, no, that's diatomaceous earth. And then blank look, and we finally get to it. And then I say, I have to say this, that stuff on the horizon, you'll see it in an hour, that stuff on the horizon is actually older than the lava that we're standing on. They're like, what? And then you try to do what I just did and say that this interface between molten lava and soft sediment never goes well. It's messy. And you can somehow dig and lift. And so this made me happy because I finally had a way to understand how to make sense of those field relationships.
So it's the heat of the lava reacting with the sediments that's creating the diatomaceous.
Now we're getting into some detail that's tricky, and Andrew and Sky, I love him so much, right, Liz? They're going back and forth by email and trying to decide. Is the diatomaceous because we're introducing the sediment? Do you need heat to make the diatomaceous earth? Is it just like not diatomite unless you bring in the rosa? The squirts in the fingers, you'll see I hope you'll see some of these patterns. It's everything under the sun. And it's hard to come up with one scenario in your head, except if you realize, and maybe it's a faulty assumption, but if you realize that all the snow was there first, and then you have lifting, you have squirting in, you have like waterfalls of lava going down in, and that's what makes all these crazy patterns and colors and why it's so collectible. I mean, I hope you got room in your rig. You're going to be bringing back a lot of stuff, and it's probably against some law, and I'm probably going to film. A lot of miscalculations here. We're going 2 minutes over. Ryan.
Is that why there's the spatter for the rosa versus instead of like having a feeder bag that we use?
No, we have the spatter at every source. It's just a question of if we can preserve that old volcanic surface. Nick.
Why are there not pillows on both sides then? Why
Right. Right. You mean up here? Do we need? You want pillows on?
Rosa, it looks like you only have pillows on the bottom, but if it did intrude into this
Oh wow.
flat bed, then surely there'd be pillows all throughout.
Fuck, man. Are there ever pillows at the top of a flow? The way I'm describing this, there should be.
And also,
I guess. Wait. Where's the? Yeah.
wet diatomaceous earth versus dry diatomaceous earth is very different.
Wet.
Like mud, like cement, like wet, like paste,
Yeah.
and one's powdery loose.
To finish, Jess is commenting that you can have the same diatomaceous earth. In one place it's wet, in one place it's dry. You're going to have totally different physical properties of this stuff. You're going to have all sorts of interesting geometry. We got to cut it there. I'll get to you. Talk to me after class. Okay, if that's it for you this week, thank you, and look for an email this Sunday for next week. I hope to see many of you at 2:15. Look for the graffiti-covered outhouse.
What's up with the entablatures? How come only some of the flows have entablatures? Are any of them known for an entablature?
Yeah,
Is it Rosa one?
the roses got great entablature. Gavin, yeah.
Already dried out, so there's no moisture left in it. Because it's quite literally going between, or a hot lava flow is going between it.
It works. I'm not sure of the accuracy of where I'm drawing the pillows. I could be making up half of it. There's definitely at the base. Well, that was fun. I hope you could feel that today. Good energy from everybody, including that open-ended discussion towards the end. You want to do a few questions and answers? I think most everybody's getting out to their cars. It's okay if I'm a few minutes late. Uppercase for your questions, please. Really enjoyed today. I don't know. I never know if it translates well to you at home. Ben, what's between the Coleman and the Sentinel Bluffs? I don't know, Ben. I'm learning as we go, and I'm going to learn a lot from Andrew Sadowski when we get to that part. But I don't know. There's petrified logs down in the Grand Ronde, and I don't know. Oh, I forgot to put more dates on there. Can you guys remind me? I'm going to keep this for Tuesday. I have like 3 more red dates that are out of Jennifer's paper that I want to keep plugging into this thing.
Remind you, you said?
I guess so.
Rest of it?
Thank you.
I
Diatomaceous earth.
assumed it was 5 or 9.
Mark, does the MUMA show baked margins? I think it does. I think I have my iPhone charged up. If we can find an outcrop, I could show you in a field video all the different possibilities of this melted snow that's welded into opal. Pat, same kind of question maybe. Does the heat from the flow react with the diatomaceous earth? Yes. and I think maybe I didn't say it that clearly, but I think a lot of the opal, quote unquote, is just melted sand. It's just melted diatomaceous earth. I'll fill you in when I know, Ben. Slow life. Could the water have been shallow enough that rows of lava boiled it, causing turbulence, and then the diatoms resettle on top? Sure. Any creative thought is worth bringing up here. It is a great group of students. Thank you. It's very messed up. I don't know how else to describe it, but I like the double MUMA labeling. I hope it made sense to you why. David's wondering about the contact at the top of the Lamuma with the base of the Priest Rapids. I think it's pretty straightforward, but I'm not sure. Sky is, among others, have spent a lot of time looking at these boundaries. Contact metamorphism, I don't think there's time for that, Chris. The diatomaceous earth I'm familiar with, you can break with your hands. It's literally like styrofoam in a, if you get shipped a big screen TV, Oscar, and there's some of that big styrofoam in the box, and you pull that styrofoam out and it kind of has that squeaky sound that kind of makes you cringe, at least it does me, and then you can snap that stuff. That's basically the consistency of the diatomaceous earth 16 million years after the fact. Did all the water flow out on the, yeah, I don't know. You guys are all visualizing the water. That's interesting. Yes, L, the colorful glass-like material is loosely called opal. You could also just call it silica. You could also just call it glass. But it's not really obsidian. John, could the water have been saltwater sea? Oh, you're always, John. I think based on what we know about Washington, the Cascades are low, John, but they're not that low that we have salt water coming into central Washington. Maybe that's the easiest way to answer that. I'm open to anything, but Jim says Chalcedony. Same thing, yeah. This red line inside the lower stratum looks for more information. You talking about my chalkboard? Or? Okay. Thanks, everybody. I guess I'm going to hit the road. We have the culture now. I don't have to keep forcing attendance or participation. That's as a person who has experience teaching, I know now that's here to stay. That's not going to go away. If you can get to this point and develop this vibe, then it just runs itself. So and the AV seems to be also working quite well. So now the goal for me is just to ride this out and enjoy it, and keep pushing to find new things for all of us to learn, including myself. I have 2 Zoom interviews scheduled in the next 2 days. I'm interviewing Barbara Nash tomorrow by Zoom, and I'm interviewing Elena Ebinghaus, and she'll be in Berlin, Germany on Saturday. And both of those experts will give us some clues and some interesting comments. Even though I've not met either of those ladies, I don't believe. Okay, that's it for today. We'll give you a parting shot out the window. Unless you want, do you want a close-up of the chalkboard? Let's try that. Well, is that a pretty sharp focus? Yeah, that's pretty good. And you can kind of see the red chalk? Kinda. Let me just put these dates on. I meant to do this today and I just forgot. So Jennifer, let's get rid of Sky. I think Jennifer went into the ground mass of the Rosa and she got 15.923. I mean, look at this. 15.950, 15.923. Priest Rapids, I think, is also Jennifer. 15.895. I mean, this is boom, 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 these flows coming in, and therefore there's just not that much time to create these interbeds as well. Yeah, I'll keep those on for Tuesday. Yeah, I always forget about that. I can do this. Oh, no, I can't. Ah. Thanks, everybody. See you. Have a good weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday.